The most powerful shipboard nuclear reactor in the world, RITM 400, has been created in Russia, Ilya, Muromets. Equipped with it, the Leader-class Icebreaker, which is being built in primary, will be able to break through ice up to 4 meters thick. But this is only the beginning of the story, because RITM 400, like its younger brother, RITM 200, is first being prepared to go on land to provide energy to cities and factories, and then, possibly, to go into space. We'll talk about this as well as about our new hero of the week after a brief summary of positive news. In the Astrakhan region, the lead support vessel Beryl and the dredger Nikolai Grechanovsky have been launched, and 2 dry cargo ships of the RSD-81 project have also been laid down. In the Nizhny Novgorod region, the 4th vessel of the DC 9203 project has been launched. In Udmurtia, equipment production for nuclear power plants has been launched in Podolsk. Production of materials for printed circuit boards. In the Nizhny Novgorod region, a plant for processing flax and hemp. In Karelia, a wooden house kit factory. And in the Altai territory, the 2nd phase of a plastic recycling plant. In Voronezh, there is a large non-alcoholic beverage production facility, and in the Kaluga region, a dairy plant. At the International Biology Olympiad, Russian school students won 6 gold medals. At the Zeopodolsk plant, the production of the world's most powerful ship reactor unit, RITM 400, has been completed. Its thermal power is 315 megawatts. To put it into perspective, that's enough to supply electricity to a city with a population of 150,000 people. And that's twice as much as the reactor unit power of the KN-3 heavy nuclear missile cruiser Admiral Nakhimov, which is currently undergoing trials after modernization. But what's truly impressive is the fact that on the Icebreaker Rossiya, currently under construction, as part of Project 10,510 liter, 2 RITM 400 reactors will be installed, which will make it not only the most powerful icebreaker, but also the most powerful civilian vessel overall. No one has ever produced anything like this before. That's why the first reactor was given its own name, Ilya Muromets, and the second one, which will be completed in a few months, will be called Dobrynya Nikitich. 2 nuclear hearts will allow the vessel to break through ice 4 meters thick and carve a channel 50 meters wide. That means large tonnage vessels, which we are also currently learning to produce, will be able to follow behind it. The icebreaker is being built at the Zvezda complex in Primorsky Krai. The 200-meter giant is expected to join the fleet in 2030 and will help secure the country's leadership in the Arctic zone, becoming yet another engineering marvel. But, as is often the case, the story of RITM 400 won't end there. It will only begin. After all, they've already found a use for it on land as well. The predecessor of RITM 400, the RITM 200 reactor unit, has already proven itself excellently as part of the serial Icebreakers of Project 22220. The 3rd generation product developed by experimental design Bureau Afrikantov replaced the Soviet 2nd generation KLT-40s at the end of the 2000s say. RITM turned out to be twice as light, 1.5 times more compact, and 25 megawatts more powerful. Like a living organism, its future emergence from sea to land was predetermined by evolution. First as part of modernized floating power units, which are currently under construction, and then as part of small-scale, land-based nuclear power plants. The first such project is already underway in Yakutia, a location chosen deliberately. 60% of the Republic's territory is in a decentralized power supply zone and is powered by diesel stations. For this, more than 75,000 tons of diesel fuel have to be delivered every year. The construction of a small nuclear power plant based on Rydium Devesti N will allow it to be refueled only once every 5 years, and will also give an impetus to the development of new deposits, the construction of factories, plants, roads, and social facilities. Such stations were planned back in the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, but they were not implemented in time. Now, both technology and the economy have matured. It was previously reported that an order has already been placed for 30 power units for our domestic needs and 20 for the needs of friendly countries. That's not even 33 Bogatyrs and Uncle Chernomor, but a whole 50. And this is nothing less than the beginning of the era of small nuclear energy. Our competitors, by the way, are also working hard in this direction. The United States of America, the United Kingdom, South Korea, and China are hastily preparing their own modular projects. This is a real technological race, and our country has a significant advantage in it. We already have the well-tested Rhythm 200 reactor, and soon there will be the land-based modification, Rhythm 400, which is twice as powerful. Based on it, 3 small nuclear power plants are planned to be built in the Norilsk industrial area, and possibly in other regions. So these nuclear giants will have plenty of space to show their strength. According to official information, 10 RITM reactor units have already been built to date, and another 10 are in production. It makes sense to assume that the next step in evolution after moving on to land will be to venture beyond Earth. Apparently that's how it will be. At least that's how it was last year. Roscosmos reported on work to create a nuclear power plant for the moon, and recently Russia and China signed a corresponding memorandum. It is our country that is responsible for developing the nuclear power unit for the future International Lunar Research Station. Therefore, Rhythm may establish itself there as well. All that remains is to wish everyone involved continued success in their work and to thank them for their quiet labor feat. In general, the more important the project, the more lies arise around it. The same icebreaker, Rossiya, has already been declared a failure more than once in some Telegram channels, just like the Baikal aircraft project, which is allegedly either being stopped or continued. To be able to distinguish truth from disinformation, it's enough to know 7 simple rules for reading the news. We talk about them in detail in the latest episode on the private channel, available through the link in the description of this video. Subscribers also get access to the archive of videos and articles, including an analysis of the situation around that very Baikal plane. Join us to understand more. The pandemic and the special military operation provided a conducive environment for the emergence of a new class of information vampires. They sell us panic and deception for our own money. Healthy people are literally going insane. Yesterday he was a normal family man, and tomorrow he went to set fire to a relay cabinet. The fuse melted. How do you protect yourself? I'll give you 7 simple, cynical rules and a checklist for checking any news. It took me 17 years of journalism experience to figure this out. I'll explain it to you in just 15 minutes with examples and tips. Next, about the protagonists. On board a plane flying from Yuzhno-Sakhalinsk to Moscow, a passenger felt unwell. A 45-year-old man lost consciousness and collapsed in the aisle. In such cases, an emergency landing is required, but it's not always possible to do it quickly, while every minute can count. Fortunately, Sakhalin anesthesiologist resuscitator Ivan Kononov and his young colleague were on board. The doctors came to the patient's aid, measured his blood pressure, administered the necessary medications, brought him to consciousness, and stabilized his condition, which allowed for a safe landing in Moscow. Amazingly, Ivan Gennadievich has already appeared in our reports with similar situations. Previously, he helped a female passenger who had seizures and stopped breathing. And in total, throughout his career, he has saved people on board airplanes 5 times. Apparently, fate itself sends him on those flights where he is especially needed. Thank you for your hard work, and we wish you success.